this is your fourth classical album.
Well, yeah, there's a few things that have classical leanings, but it's really it's the first one where it's playing the music of another composer entirely. So if that qualifies it to be a classical album, then that's it would be the first really.
And, why did you choose Satie music?
Well, John and I grew up listening to Eric Satie's music, and we had a very lovely album years ago um, where the piano parts were transferred to various areas of the woodwind, you know, flute, clarinet, oboe, and strings, and it was a very beautiful album, lovely music. So just one of those things, you know, that's always been with us. And John's always loved um, the music of Eric Satie, and it just sounds great on the flute, even though it was originally written for piano. It seems to be made for the flute.
What do we need to know about
Eric Satie?
Eric Satie.
Okay, he was a contemporary of Debussy, um, and in Paris at that time, which is either the late 1800s or the early 1900s, the kind of people that knew each other were Stravinsky and Diaghilev, and it was obviously an incredible time of lots of famous people that were actually working together. People like Man Ray and Picasso, and a lot of artists centered on Paris, writers and artists, and so it's almost as if it was the Hollywood of its day, almost you could say, and it was the place where all those dreams seemed to converge. The other thing to say about Satie is that he was born in France in 1866 in a place called Honfleur, which is let me see, and he died in 1925. He came from, I might get this wrong, either his mother was Scottish or his father was Scottish. I can't remember. One of them was Scottish and the other one was French. I get them mixed up, but John will probably know and correct me. Probably knows all that stuff, we hope.
And was it difficult to transcribe Satie's music for guitar and flute?
Well, we stuck with the original keys, which was perfect for flute, and for guitar it was very difficult because it doesn't fit on the guitar. The scale of the music is actually much lower than the guitar and much higher. So for the record, at least, I stuck as faithfully as possible to the original octaves that were written, so much lower, detuning the guitar a lot, and then you do this thing on the guitar called harmonics to get the higher notes that might be outside the scale of the guitar. So,
Now, whom do you recommend this music?
well, I recommend it to everybody, especially if everybody is, or anybody who is feeling nervous and they want something very, and not exactly tranquilizing. It's not quite like new age music. It's got the same speed as that, but it has a kind of poignancy about it. It's slightly melancholic and slightly playful, and in a way it's sort of, I don't know if this will translate, but the word that comes to mind is faun-like. It's almost like a mythical character, the faun, something very playful, and it may well be that the spirit of that music and Eric Satie himself may have influenced Debussy to write L'après-midi d'un faun. So it's very difficult to describe music in words. I think you have to let it speak for itself. But it's music that I heard when I was growing up, and I didn't know who wrote the very famous melody that I guess is more recognisable there. I kept singing it to people, and nobody really knew who wrote it. So it was this lovely melody that is Gymnopédie Number 1.